Alright, good morning. This is going to be another how-to video. Over the last 6 months or so, I've been getting a lot of compliments on my Maker's Mark Whiskey Applewood smoked bacon. So I'm going to go through the process from start to finish on how exactly I do this, and then in the comments of the YouTube video will be the ingredients for the cure. So as you can see, I usually make about 20 pounds at a time, just so I don't have to make it that often, and then I break it up and freeze it and vacuum seal it and then freeze it. I have 22 pounds here, so I'm going to have to significantly multiply my recipe. But first things I do is break open your packs of pork belly here. And I'm not going to show you both slabs, I'll just do one here and then post that. Using cold water, I'm going to wash it here. Give it a good wash. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drape it so it's about half and half right here. Grab my knife. These ceramic knives seem to do the best cutting through this thick layer of the stomach here. And all I'm going to do is get this started here and cut straight through. There we go. There we go. So now I cut my slab in half to make it easier to deal with. Now at this point, I grab my paper towels and I'm going to make sure that I dry this good. Flip it over. It's nice and dry. Bring it over here on a cookie sheet. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim excess fat off of it, so I don't have that in the end product. And for people who complain about too much fat on their bacon that they buy at the store, this is a good way to control how much fat there is. There we go. You can see all that fat right there. Throw that in the trash. You can see how much meat there's going to be on this now. And looking over here, I'm going to trim all that off too right there. Don't need that on there. There's a big piece of fat on this one. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. And see, nobody would want to eat that. There, so now there's one slab ready to go. I'm going to do the same thing with the other 3 sections. Once you get it trimmed, and now this one is ready for the cure. Alright, so we have one pork belly ready to go. As you can see, I got plenty of additional work to do, but I'm not going to repeat these steps for all of it. Right now we're going to mix up the cure we're going to use. So to begin, I'm going to start with the sugar. Usually I do about half and half white and brown sugar, and for all the pork bellies I have to multiply the recipe by 7, so I'm going to do 4 half cups of brown sugar here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now 3 half cups of white sugar. 1, 2, 3. Alright. Now for every 3 pounds, 2 tablespoons of whiskey times 7, that's 14 tablespoons. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14. There we go. So that's Maker's Mark whiskey, which is my favorite. I'm just gonna wipe that off a little bit. And then syrup. So 7 tablespoons of syrup. So we are using the 100% pure Vermont syrup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Alright. Wipe that off a little bit. Next is the salt. So 14 tablespoons of salt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now 7 teaspoons of the pink curing salt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll just throw an extra in there. Pepperoni. So that's our neighbor's cat that stays with us during the day. And then 7 teaspoons of black pepper. Yeah, the cat might think I'm calling him since his name's Pepper. 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright. And cayenne. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so now I'm just gonna stir this up. And this should be thick and tacky. And if I need a little bit more runny to apply it to the pork belly, I always just add a little bit more whiskey because I don't complain about that. But it looks like this is going to be perfect right here. Make sure it's all mixed very well. Alright, so that is done now. Move all this to the side here just in case if we need some more. It's all ready. And now I'm going to prepare the pork belly slab. So you saw how I trimmed the fat, but now I'm going to score the thick stomach layer of it, so when I cure it, it can actually make it in there. This is probably the worst part of the whole process right here. What I do is I'll pinch it a little bit, get my cut started, like so. Move the tray. There we go. So about every couple inches I want to make one of these. So now this slab is ready to be cured. Alright, before we start putting the cure on the slab of pork belly that we have ready, first we're going to get our saran wrap ready. My wife's going to help me with this. So if you have a table or any large flat area, that will work for this. Try to get this off here. There we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to spread out one this way. And now I'm going to grab it again. And then we're going to put it crossways, so all we have to do is lay the pork belly down on this to get the first wrap in. So we have first layer of saran wrap ready. So now what I'm going to do on the cookie sheet is grab the cure. Our pork belly is ready, and I'm just going to start smearing it on here. Make sure the cuts you made, you spread those apart and get the cure in there. And so the key here is to have a nice layer on all exposed areas. Alright, so we got one side exposed, so what you want to do is get your cookie sheet somewhat close. You'll pick it up and flip it, and then I'm going to finish curing the last side with it on the saran wrap. Alright, so that one's ready. Set that to the side because I still have 3 more of these I have to do. So now what we're going to do, we're going to wrap this. Wrap. Set put it in your Pyrex that you'll use in the fridge, and then we're gonna put down one more layer there. Got sugar on my hands here. So we're gonna put down one more layer of saran wrap. We're going to double wrap this because when it's in those Pyrex containers, even double wrapped, it's still going to leak, but I'm trying to hold all that cure in as long as possible. Alright, so my wife's going to pull it tight for me. Thank you. And then there we got the last wrap. So now I'm going to grab the pork belly again, put it back down there, wrap, 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 and the last wrap. So now it's double wrapped. And we're going to put these in these Pyrex containers in the fridge for 2 weeks. Alright, so I got all 22 pounds done curing. We'll let it cure for 2 weeks. And every 3 days, all I'm going to do is I'll take them out. I'll flip them over, give them a good rubbing, flip them over, drain any excess down in here in these Pyrex containers. And then after 2 weeks, we'll fire up the grill and smoke these up in the bacon. And I actually didn't use shrink wrap. A lot of people will probably recognize this as a roll of shrink wrap packing material that I use, which is a lot thicker and actually works really good for this. Alright, stand by, see you in 2 weeks. Alright guys, well it's been 2 weeks, so it's time to smoke the slabs of pork bellies that I've been curing. So I'm just going to use the wife's hairdryer. She loves it when I do this because it gets all full of ash. But get the grill going here. So yeah, so my grill here, if anyone's wondering, is a Kamado Joe. It's an excellent grill if you want to invest the money. I was weighing whether to buy a Big Green Egg or the Kamado Joe, and after looking at both of them, I realized the Kamado Joe was made a lot better. So plus I supported a small business there in town. But this lump charcoal, it likes to spark when you're doing this, so be careful. Like I did, I just got a piece of ash on my leg, so that felt good. Alright, so I'm going to get this going. I just wanted to put this into the video so you can see the entire process from start to finish for bacon. Alright, it looks like I got some good coals going, a lot of good heat, so I'm going to put the wood in there now. I'm using Applewood this time, but I have used cherry wood and maple. So I'll just stick the wood right down there on the coals there. Put a few smaller pieces so you can see how it's already smoking there. That should be enough to keep it smoking the whole time there. Now I'm gonna put the heat deflectors back in. This will avoid any direct heat on the bacon there. Make sure that it's snug back up. Then I'll put the racks on there, and then we'll go get our slabs of pork belly from the fridge while this is building some heat up. I normally don't smoke my bacon over 200 degrees. So 200 degrees for a couple hours until the internal temperature reaches 150 degrees of the slabs of pork bellies. Alright, so it's smoking pretty good. Grill's already up to 150 degrees there because the needle's starting to climb. So I'm just going to put my slabs of pork bellies on there. The biggest thing is once it starts reaching 200 degrees, start shutting down some of the vents to keep it right around 200 degrees. So like a little bit more smoky flavor in my bacon. So I want it to smoke a little bit longer. I don't want these to cook too fast. So just throw your slabs of pork bellies on there. Now I have the Kamado Joe Classic, so I can only do 2 slabs at a time here. Maybe on the Big Joe you could do all 4, I'm not too sure. There's the first 2 slabs right there. So that's going to take about a couple hours minimum. Alright, let's take a look-see here. So as long as it's over 140, we're going to be good here, because we still got to slice it and put it in the frying pan. Oh yeah, 150. Glad I came out. 150 on the dot. Alright. Throw those right over there. Woo! Hope that doesn't fall off there. Woo! It's a hot one out there today. Let's get the other ones on here. Get these cooked really quick. There we go. There's one. Go. Alright, so first 2 are done. Now I'm just gonna let them stand and cool down for 1 to 2 hours. You can see that nice bark on the outside of there. So one thing you want to do while the pork belly's still warm is you want to, at this point, flip your pork belly over. Start cutting the bottom. A little too warm yet, but I'll be able to get it with a fork here. So this hard piece of this stomach line in here, you want to cut this off. So all I'm gonna do is just kind of carve this off of there. Just like so. You don't want this on there when you go to eat it, so. And it's definitely a little bit easier to do when it's warm. I didn't necessarily have to do it right when I took it off like I am now, but definitely when it's still warm you want to do this. There we go. There we go. Just like that. So now, once this cools down, all we have to do is slice it up. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, this is the second set of pork belly. I carved off that layer of stomach fat. I'm going to flip it back over. Flip both of these back over now. Done with the trash can. Put that back over there. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare these to be vacuum sealed. So I'm just going to cut these. And I just cut them in the fourths. Now these ones were lightly smoked. The first ones were, I put a heavy smoke on those. So like this one here, I'm just gonna leave this top part as one piece. This is a smaller piece, so that one's gonna stay like that. And then I'll cut this one like that. So I'm gonna let these cool down, and then the next step will be to wrap these in tin foil and then vacuum seal them. Alright, so now we're just gonna wrap these in tin foil here. They've cooled down enough. Put a piece of tin foil here. And then my wife's gonna vacuum seal them. Uh-oh. There you go. Now they're ready to be froze. There we go. All ready to be frozen. Alright guys, so I'm just gonna get ready to prep some bacon in for breakfast here in the morning, so I'm gonna slice them up here, and that's the end of the process of from start to finish of my Maker's Mark Applewood smoked bacon. You can see how good it is to store it in a tin foil and vacuum sealed. So as you can see, by trimming down the fat, you can see how lean this is. Let's see if I can find the fattiest piece. Yeah, that looks like the fattiest piece. You got a little bit of fat there and a little bit of fat there. The rest is all meat. So, benefits of making your own bacon. You can make it as lean as you want. But if you guys happen to figure out improve this recipe, please let me know in the comment section.